very good evening to you, and thanks for joining us on NTV tonight. Good to have you with us. These are our top stories.
Tonight, ending the Rotich era. Labour CS Ukur Yatani appointed as acting National Treasury Cabinet Secretary as Kamau Thuge is substantively replaced.
Also tonight,
this one is
CMC Diravena denies playing a role in dam scam, but we reveal some outright lies on the Italian firm's end.
Plus, Kenyan delegation returns gold and cash stolen from Tanzania, and it was a presidential call.
Mzigo umeshafika hapa.
Mali ya wananchi wetu lazima irudi kwa wananchi wetu.
And move aside Punguza Mizigo. Uasin Gishu MP Gladys Boss-Sholei's bill proposes more MPs and MCAs.
Mama cannot be the Mzigo. I don't think the numbers of women increased in parliament is the challenge that Kenya is facing.
NTV Tonight with Mark Masai and Smriti Vidyarthi.
Good evening. It's definitely good to be back, and that's if people have noticed my absence.
Good to have you back, Mark. You've missed a lot, but welcome back to the coverage about corruption.
And we get into the action, and our sign language interpreter tonight is David Agondo. To our top story tonight, President Uhuru Kenyatta has moved in to fill the vacuum at the National Treasury by appointing Labour and Social Protection Cabinet Secretary Ukur Yatani in acting capacity as a replacement for Henry Rotich.
The National Treasury Principal Secretary, that's Kamau Thuge, has also been sent packing with the appointment of a substantive replacement in the key role. NTV's Olive Burrows begins our broadcast by breaking down how the president moved the pieces on his chessboard and how it affects other state departments.
Now, ever since the hammer by way of the Director of Public Prosecutions, Nuruddin Haji, came down on Treasury Cabinet Secretary Henry Rotich and Principal Secretary Kamau Thuge, the speculation, as evidenced by this, has been rife on who President Uhuru Kenyatta would tap to hold the fort. This afternoon, we got our answer by way of a statement from State House spokesperson Kanze Dena. Labour and Social Protection Cabinet Secretary Ukur Yatani takes over the National Treasury and Planning portfolio in an acting capacity as replacement for Rotich, who is barred by the courts from returning to office. Things get slightly more intricate when it comes to the position of Principal Secretary. And to make the movements simpler, we use this illustration. It's a square or a box based on what your interpretation of it is. Now, on account of the criminal charges that he's facing, Dr. Thuge has been completely edged out and substantively replaced as the Principal Secretary National Treasury by Dr. Julius Mwanzi Muya, who is the man who has been appointed to replace him. He therefore moves from the State Department of Planning and takes Thuge's place. Taking Muya's place is Torome Saitoti, who moves from the Ministry of Defense up to the Ministry of Planning. And finally, you ask, who takes over from Torome in the Ministry of Defense? Well, that is retired Major General Gordon Kihalangwa, who moves from the State Department of Immigration to Defense. So who exactly is this man, Ukur Yatani Kanacho, and what informs his appointment to manage the National Treasury? Well, the 58-year-old holds a Bachelor of Arts in Economics from Egerton University. He served as a District Officer Cadet and rose through the ranks to a District Commissioner in 2002. In 2005, he received a Master's of Arts degree in Public Administration and Policy in the United Kingdom. He then ventured into politics and was elected Member of Parliament for North Horr constituency in 2006. He was then appointed Assistant Minister Science and Technology in 2009. He was named Kenya's ambassador to Austria, where he served until 2012. And in 2013, he was elected Marsabit County's first governor, serving only one term. He was then appointed a Cabinet Secretary for Labour and Social Protection in January of 2018, until today, when he's been appointed Acting National Treasury CS.
With all that movement and a response to this, Ambassador Ukur Yatani, he says, and he tweets actually, this was earlier after this went out to the public, tweeting, "It was a pleasant surprise. I thank His Excellency the President for the honor and trust, and I promise to do my best in order to realize his dreams of transforming this nation." Surprise, surprise.
Yeah, well, no doubt all eyes will be on him and how he serves in that acting capacity. Now, Italian firm CMC di Ravenna has denied any wrongdoing in the Aror and Kimwarer dam scandals that has 3 of its officials on the verge of arrest and prosecution in Kenya.
The firm in a statement says it had no role to play in the negotiations to finance a project that resulted in a manipulation of the funds and a loss of close to 20 billion shillings of taxpayers' money.
Here's NTV's Brenda Wanga with more.
With the looming threat of the issuance of an international warrant of arrest for its CEO, CMC di Ravenna, the company contracted to construct the dams at the heart of the multi-billion shillings scandal, is distancing itself from the scam. In a statement, the company says it is certain of the correctness of the work of its company and its representatives, both in Italy and abroad, and in particular of the contract involved. CMC entered into a financing agreement with the National Treasury that was converted into a commercial loan under unclear circumstances. That loan grew from 46 to 63 billion shillings, 17 billion shillings more than was needed.
The National Treasury entered into a facility contract in euros, while the commercial contracts were in US dollars, therefore occasioning further loss to the Kenyan government through exchange rates.
The company now says that neither it nor its representatives took part in the negotiation and expresses its confidence that it will quickly clarify its own extraneousness to the facts under investigation. While the company fights to detach itself from the scandal, the DPP has insisted 3 of its officials have a case to answer alongside the CS and PS for Treasury and other suspects. According to the DPP, the company stands accused of getting the tender despite not performing on 3 other projects it had been awarded and submitting draft technical designs at the beginning of this year, 4 years behind schedule. The government is accused of awarding the contract to CMC despite knowing that the firm was facing financial challenges and was indeed heading into bankruptcy. The firm's website indicates that the company is in the safe hands of its CEO, Paolo Porcelli, who holds an engineering degree and has a wealth of experience in overseeing the execution of mega projects. He is particularly hailed for his critical role in securing and executing key infrastructure projects in Africa, Aror and Kimwarer dams in Kenya included. The accusations notwithstanding, on the company's website, a different picture is presented. According to CMC, the realization of this artist's impression is well underway. Once completed, this patch of earth in Kimwarer will be turned into this expansive dam, and the same will be replicated in Aror. However, according to the DPP, the earth here hasn't even been excavated to kick off the construction. This despite the government spending 19.7 billion shillings on it so far. Brenda Wanga, NTV.
So let's look at a money trail, and this is according to the investigators who are looking into this particular scam. And it is said, with the evidence that has been gathered at the moment, the 643 million shillings was released by the National Treasury for the purposes of compensating the residents who would be affected by the Aror and Kimwarer dams projects. And this money was sent to the Italian contractor CMC di Ravenna in Italy. And out of this 643 million shillings, 450 million shillings was wired to a private account, to an account in London. And this same amount was wired to another private account in Dubai. Now, your guess is as good as mine as to why they would choose to go about it this way. But I guess it's to get away with the tracking of this particular amount. But the investigators are on it. And this 450 million shillings is sent all the way back home here in Nairobi. And it is withdrawn and given to businessmen who are meant to pay this particular amount to compensating and to acquiring the land. And apparently this land that has been targeted in the Kerio Valley area was then meant to be sold to the government for 6 billion shillings. Land that was initially to be paid for 450 million shillings to be sold to the government at 6 billion shillings. Just do the math on the profits from the corruption that would have been gained right then. That's where we are in following the money trail.
Absolutely incredible. Mark, thanks. Now, when he took up the office of the Director of Public Prosecutions, Nurdin Haji hoped to change the fortunes of the prosecutor's office that had previously stuttered in securing convictions for graft cases. Now, Haji's choice of private legal counsels to prosecute the high-profile corruption cases may have just injected a renewed sense of confidence in the office of the DPP, as he promised to take on corruption by the horns. NTV's Zainab Ismail takes a closer look at Taib Ali Taib, one of Haji's right-hand men, now tasked with prosecuting individuals involved in the Aror and Kimwarer dam scandal.
From a Mombasa lawyer, Taib Ali Taib is the face of the DPP's latest high-profile prosecution. In his first public appearance as a special counsel in the case against Treasury Cabinet Secretary Henry Rotich, Taib already had his gloves on. Taib holds a law degree from the University of Nairobi and a diploma from the Kenya School of Law. He was admitted to the bar as an advocate of the High Court of Kenya in 1988 and has practiced law for 31 years. In 2003, he was elected the mayor of Mombasa and served until 2006. His stint in politics came to an end after the government degazetted his nomination as a councillor. In 2016, Taib resurfaced. He was shortlisted among 10 other candidates for the position of the chairperson of the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission.
Conscientiously, to the best of my ability, so that I may go down, hopefully, on the record, to have rendered my country a service, both for the country's sake and for my own family's sake.
He failed to clinch the seat and went on practicing law, until now, when the DPP, while on a talent search, picked him to join his team of special prosecutors to boost the state of public prosecution and help prosecute complex cases. The other members of the DPP's three-man team include former DPP Philip Murgor and lawyer James Kihara Muridhi. They have been described as the DPP's right-hand men. Taib joined the DPP's power team after he successfully won freedom for convicted businessman Faisal Ali Mohammed, who was charged with being in possession of ivory worth 44 million shillings. He had appealed against the 20-year jail term handed to Faisal. Taib Ali Taib took on his first case on Monday involving immediate Treasury Cabinet Secretary Henry Rotich over the Aror and Kimwarer dams scam. Since coming into office, Haji has prosecuted a number of high-profile suspects. The case against Deputy Chief Justice Philomena Mwelu even saw him enlist the services of London-based Professor Senior Counsel Khawar Qureshi. Haji hopes this approach will not just be another catch-and-release game, but could be the much-needed breakthrough in securing the conviction of graft suspects. Zainab Ismail, NTV.
Well, the immediate former National Treasury Cabinet Secretary Henry Rotich is the latest high-profile individual and sitting member of the cabinet to be charged with corruption. And his case is just on top of a long list of graft cases still pending in court.
NTV's Leila Mohammed looks back at some of the notable ones whose interest waned soon after the dramatic arrests of the high-profile suspects.
And as we speak, arrests are going on.
The country's list of corruption scandals make for a long read. There have been a few prosecutions, but the outrage mellows as the cases drag on in court.
Look at the way you frame cases. Not in a bad way. You put 30 accused persons on one charge sheet. They are represented by 30 lawyers. How long do you think that will take?
The second looting spree at the NYS saw a few high-profile arrests and prosecutions. Public Service and Youth Affairs PS Lillian Omolo and NYS Director General Richard Ndubai were charged alongside 28 other individuals for the loss of 167 million shillings in tenders irregularly awarded. While the arrest of Deputy Chief Justice Philomena Mwilu shocked the nation, the DPP faced a major setback when the High Court threw out the case against her.
The order must be specific
On account that the DCI obtained the evidence against her illegally. The DPP's hope to bring the DCJ to account is now in the hands of the Judicial Service Commission. Former Kenya Pipeline MD Joe Sang is out on 2 million shillings bail after denying the charges of failure to follow procurement laws that led to the loss of 1.9 billion shillings in the construction of a jetty in Kisumu. In yet another high-voltage scandal, former Kenya Power bosses Ben Chumo and Ken Tarus were charged in court over the irregular procurement of defective transformers and where the taxpayer lost 470 million shillings. The transformers still lie at Kenya Power yards. The case remains adjourned. Former Nairobi Governor Evans Kidero has been in court over the last months in a 213 million shillings graft case. Samburu Governor Moses Kasaine Lenol Kulal is however back to his administrative duties as governor. He is out on bail after denying charges in an 84 million shillings corruption scandal. The hearing is yet to start. Kiambu Governor Ferdinand Waititu and some members of his family also face arrest over the loss of over 500 million shillings in dubious road tenders. Former Agriculture PS Richard Lesiampe is also in court over the loss of funds at the National Cereals and Produce Board.
For many Kenyans, a guilty verdict and convictions will be the test to cement the fight against corruption in this nation. Leila Mohammed, NTV, Nairobi.
Well, one of the reasons there are yet to be convictions in most corruption cases is the length of time that the courts take to conclude matters before them. A report released by the judiciary has listed the duration that it takes to conclude cases in different courts. Now, if you look at this screen, at the Magistrates' Court, there are, where most graft cases are heard, the report says that it takes up to 1 year and 1 month to conclude a case. Then if you have a look at the High Court, the Court of the Appeal and the Employment and Labour Relations Court, it takes 2 years and 4 months on average to be brought to conclusion. And if you have a case at the Environment and Land Court, well, you'll need to exercise patience because, as you can see here, it takes up to 3 years and 1 month for a case to be concluded. And at the Magistrates' Court, cases can take up to a year and a month for the cases to be concluded. So that's perhaps why there is so much frustration as to convictions that sometimes don't happen as speedily as we hope for them to happen. All right, we take a break from the corruption focus and shift gears now to something else. Mark, over to you.
Yes, and it's to that which shines or glitters. And this right behind me, at least what is involved in the next story, is genuine gold. Kenya has returned 35 kilograms of gold worth approximately 168 million shillings and a stash of money stolen from a bank in Tanzania and seized at the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport last February. A delegation from Nairobi led by Foreign Affairs Cabinet Secretary Monica Juma handed the consignment to Tanzania President John Magufuli in State House, Dar es Salaam. NTV's Mel Miendo reports on the latest show of camaraderie between the two countries and that could also see a new sense of cooperation on the investigation and prosecution of crime suspects.
Kenya and her neighbor Tanzania are now finding more harmony than ever. In a spirit of amity, Kenya returned 35 kilograms of gold and a stash of cash stolen from Tanzania's NBC Bank. Foreign Affairs Cabinet Secretary Monica Juma, Attorney General Kihara Kariuki, Director of Public Prosecutions Nudin Haji, DCI Director George Kinoti, and Director of Asset Recovery Modhoni Kimani formed the high-profile delegation that escorted the cargo to Tanzania. The gold is estimated to be worth about 168 million Kenya shillings.
The officials also handed over 15 million shillings recovered from the Tanzanian national arrested with the gold at the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport in February 2018. The suspect was extradited to Tanzania for prosecution. The consignment was received by President Magufuli at State House, Dar es Salaam. It was tested in public to prove it was actual gold in what saw President Kenyatta call in live from Nairobi.
Nzuri bana, mzigo umeshafika hapa. Aha, basi mimi nakushukuru sana Mheshimiwa Rais. Dada yangu Monica ameshashusha mzigo hapa wote. Mzigo wote nimeuangalia hapa na ninaiona ni vyenyewe kabisa.
The two presidents keeping up with the show of unity in word and deed.
Ukifanya makosa Kenya, ukakimbilia Tanzania, utashughulikiwa kikamilifu. Ukifanya makosa Tanzania, ukakimbilia Kenya, utashughulikiwa kikamilifu.
The two presidents had met early this month in what was described as a private visit, but where the two discussed issues of mutual interest between the two countries. Mel Miendo, NTV.
And in other news, the government has set up a multi-sectoral committee to coordinate and enforce food safety regulations. And this follows NTV's expose Red Alert, which raised the lid over retailers who were using illegal amounts of chemicals in the preservation of meat.
The committee is to also look into illegal activities in the food sector, such as adulteration, poor hygiene, improper handling, and misuse of chemicals. The team, which comprises of officials from the Ministries of Health, Trade, Interior and Agriculture, has discussed ways of getting rid of unscrupulous traders.
Right, you're watching NTV Tonight. Time for a quick break, but there is always, as usual, more coming up.
The latest boss move, Gladys Cholet's proposal for 152 additional MPs and many more MCAs.
I help women find independence by training them in fish farming. It's tough on my back, joints, and can cause headaches. Panadol Extra relieves multiple types of pain. Panadol Extra, now with new Optizorb technology, to fight multiple tough pains with 3 times more pain-relieving medicine in the first 30 minutes when you need it most. Seeing them support themselves makes any pain worth it.
If symptoms persist, seek medical advice.
Rama Homes investment opportunity. Invest with 380,000 Kenya shillings and get 100% profit in 1 year. Visit our office at West Point Plaza, 5th floor along Parker Road in Westlands on the 27th July 2019 to learn more about the investment plan. For more information, call us on 0709 658 000. Rama Homes Limited, bringing luxury home.
Who wants to answer? Mary?
Mary has a toothache.
Oh, I see. And who knows why?
Because the tooth is too big.
No, it might be a hole in her tooth called a cavity. That's why I brush twice a day using Colgate.
Imagine this is your tooth and these are food acids that cause cavities. Colgate with calcium and fluoride helps prevent cavities
For maximum cavity protection.
and now available in a 12-gram sachet for fresh breath. Only 15 shillings.
Hey, mister. Where you going?
Men clean their cars themselves. I'll also clean my own bike. I'm grown up now.
Then you'll need this. The most pleasant surprise for a mother is to see her child growing up. But I know as he learns to take more responsibility, he'll face more dirt, germs, and the risk of illness.
That's why you need strong Dettol protection, because Dettol cleans and protects against 100 illness-causing germs.
Growing up needs Dettol protection.
I told you to kick it more to the left.
No, kick it higher.
No, to the left. Come on, guys, stop it. Remember the win.
1xBet, African betting partner of Tottenham Hotspur.
Nation FM. More music and less talk. Nairobi 96.3, Mombasa 101.5, Meru 93.9, Nyeri 104.9, Eldoret 102.7, and Nakuru on 97.7. Follow us on social media on Facebook at Nation FM, Instagram at Nation FM, and on Twitter at Nation FM KE. Nation FM. More music and less talk.
Every day, history repeats itself. A scientist takes one small step. A genius finds a solution. A record is broken. A legend is born. Every day, history repeats itself here at Wood Creek School. Because we believe every child is a promise of something great. And it's our job to find the greatness within. So we welcome you to our open day on the 3rd and 4th of August from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. at our campus on Committee Road.
Break up with Eno. Aunt, it's true.
This is a difficult situation you're in.
How about us? We're okay, right?
Of course. Even if you almost punched me because of Eva? I've won Eva. She's my girlfriend now.
Excuse me, I'll just go to the wash. Oops!
Sorry, ma'am. Sorry.
I'm so sorry.
Sorry,
Soil Merchants Property Developers have incredible offers for prime residential and commercial plots in Kiserian Town. Welcome to our open day on 27th July 2019. SMS LAND to 21595.
Welcome back. Chairman of the Council of Governors, Wycliffe Oparanya, has called on President Uhuru Kenyatta to intervene and unlock the stalemate between the National Assembly and the Senate over the shareable revenue for counties.
Oparanya says that many county operations had been paralyzed as the stalemate delays the disbursement of funds for the 2019-2020 financial year.
The governors say the tough wars between the two houses of parliament threatened the operations of the counties, some of which are staring at a total shutdown.
If the two are not agreeing, they are worsening the situation. And I will plead with the president that maybe as a head of state is the only one that can deal with this stalemate.
As a mark that the rift could only grow wider, Senate debated and passed its own version of the Division of Revenue Bill, allocating counties 335 billion shillings. The National Assembly will on Thursday likely pass the revised Division of Revenue Bill that pegs the allocation to counties at 316 billion shillings.
Right now we are going to have our salaries late for the staff simply because we are stuck there.
While bigger counties like Nairobi, Mombasa, where they collect a lot of own revenue in few of the infrastructure they have, then those ones can be able to survive. But counties like mine, where we collect very negligible amount, it's unlikely that we can survive until this issue is resolved as soon as possible.
The stalemate and its impact on the counties is also likely to feature in discussions at this weekend's devolution conference in Nakuru, whose theme is the future of devolution. Vincent Odur, NTV.
Now, the Third Way Alliance Punguza Mzigo initiative is gaining momentum after the Nakuru County Assembly approved the bill.
Party leader Ekuru Okot has called on the other counties to back the initiative that proposes a raft of reforms on cutting the size of parliament, reviewing the terms of the president, and ensuring more money for the devolved units.
So we are saying let's demystify the presidency and let's focus on what matters the most, which is give people services. And the reason we are saying to demystify the presidency, and in our proposal we have said, let's only have a president of one term of only 7 years.
The aircraft is already in the air. There is no turning back. We shall do our work, and as you've heard from the members, they are ready to pass this bill, and we shall forward to the speakers of the National Assembly and the Speaker of the Senate.
As the Third Way Alliance leader drums up support for the Punguza Mzigo initiative, Uasin Gishu woman representative Gladys Boss-Sholei hopes to rally members of parliament behind her bill that could see the number of MPs increase from the current 416 to 568.
Right, and the bill tabled in the National Assembly this afternoon seeks to add an extra, get this, 152 MPs, mostly women, to ensure the realization of the two-thirds gendered rule. NTV's political affairs reporter Kennedy Muredi dissects the provisions of this new bill that will need the approval of at least 233 MPs.
As Kenyans are warming up to the idea of a referendum to cut the size of parliament and reduce the public wage bill, a bill sponsored by Uasin Gishu women representative Gladys Sholei, if approved, could see the number of MPs go up. Sholei wants the number of women in the national parliament and county assemblies increased so as to achieve the elusive two-thirds gender bill. The bill, she says, seeks to cure the question of representation, especially that of women, by increasing their numbers and setting aside wards and constituencies where women would be the only contestants. The bill proposes inserting a new Clause 1A in Article 89 of the Constitution to state there will be 1,450 wards for the purposes of the election of members of county assemblies. The bill also proposes to amend Article 97 to allow for the election of 136 women, each elected by the registered voters of two adjacent constituencies. In each county, the two adjacent constituencies constituting a single-member constituency. The bill proposes the nomination of 10 other legislators, including persons with disability, and also proposes the election of another 47 senators to bring the number to 94, with each county electing a man and a woman. It also provides for the nomination of 6 senators by political parties to bring the total number of senators to 100. If supported by at least 233 MPs of the National Assembly, it could see their numbers increase from the current 349 to 448. In the Senate, the numbers would increase from the current 67 to 100. In the county assemblies, the numbers would go as high as an additional 700 members, most of who will be women.
Mama cannot be the mzigo, because if you look at different countries, like in the Eastern Africa region, Kenya is actually the worst. And we have countries that are performing well, even economically, and they have those numbers.
What the women should be pushing for electoral justice, electoral integrity. We should be pushing for political parties to make deliberate effort of creating a fair nomination process so that women can contest.
The legislative proposal will not only see the numbers increase at the national level, that is the National Assembly and the Senate, but also in the county assemblies that would blow up the numbers to obnoxious levels. Kennedy Muredi, NTV in Nairobi County.
Well, that's certainly a story that we will be following. It'll be interesting to hear what Kenyans have to say. Elsewhere, the Kenya Women Teachers Association, that's KEWOTA, has called on the government to consider making the motherhood journey for female teachers much more bearable.
Probably something to consider as well in the newsrooms. They want a mother's room and a mother's nursing room, I should say, and a safe space to breastfeed away from the scrutiny of fellow teachers and students. Charity Mwangi wades into the breastfeeding debate.
They are teachers second, but women first. They contribute to the development of future generations, and now they are seeking for a better working environment. They hope to finally focus closer home and cater to their own.
When a teacher is in school, they should be allowed to have a private room where they can have their maids or the people who care for their young children to be with the teacher in the same institution. When they feel like breastfeeding their children, they go breastfeed.
The newly constituted Kenya Women Teachers Association is championing this objective, raising the importance of the required 6 months exclusive breastfeeding, whose achievement has been a stretch for working moms.
This is going to increase the output of the women teachers, because then there'll be no worries about whether the maid is feeding the children well, or whether the maid is taking care of the child well. The teachers will be very peaceful, and for sure, the quality of education will improve.
The emotive issue of breastfeeding saw women demonstrate on the streets of Nairobi in May 2018 when a woman was allegedly asked to leave a restaurant for failing to discreetly breastfeed her baby. This move by Kenyatta, a splinter union from the giant Kenya National Union of Teachers, could appeal to female teachers and increase its membership and influence within the education sector. In 2016, Parliament passed a bill that made it mandatory for employers to provide breastfeeding stations for nursing mothers in the workplace. While the private sector has pursued this, it is now clear that the public sector is lagging behind. Charity Mwangi, NTV.
Here's a development from the courts. The High Court has ordered former Nairobi County Finance boss Jimmy Gamba to pay the government 282 million shillings for unexplained assets.
The anti-corruption court judge, that's Hedwig Ongundis, has directed Gamba to pay an additional 35 million shillings to the state, failure to which his Runda property will be recovered.
This is why the EACC says Kiamba's source of income was his net salary from August 2009 to February 2015 of 5.8 million shillings. But his bank statements and list of properties presented in court show he is valued at 1 billion shillings. It's time for another break, but coming up in business news.
The shocking details of the graft at Kenya Power that saw the firm's top officials grilled by senators.
Crazy without your friends. Drink Fanta. Taste fun.
Je, maumivu ya kichwa na kukosesha amani? Kaluma Strong hutuliza maumivu ya kichwa, maumivu ya mwili na hata huondoa joto jingi mwilini. Kaluma Strong ina aspirin kama kiungo. Maumivu yakizidi, muone daktari.
Why are so many children absent? Children have become weaker. Children have not become weaker. Infection-causing germs have become stronger, making infections more severe. New Lifebuoy with Active Natural protects from today's stronger germs.
Kujimoto hapo na kujipodopodo.
Dakika moja tu na wewe.
Mimi nakwambia hii date mimi nitakutangulia. Mimi niende nikule, wewe utaenda kule baadaye. Utapata nimelipa. Is the thought that counts.
I'm done.
Hiyo makeup. Naweza iongeza hivi kachumbari, kafirifiri. Naweza ifanyia kakitu juu. Kidogo tutuma hiyo like. Tuone nikushuhudia, naweza ongeza kaladha. Haka sasa ndio kachumbari.
Wow. Ulijulia wapi kufanya makeup?
Mambo ni YouTube.
Get 5 GB free YouTube when you buy the all-in-one monthly bundle. Dial *544# to choose your bundle. Mambo on YouTube.
Selena!
Toto, where's mommy?
Today's a toilet day.
What? Oh.
Selena!
Toilet day?
Tomorrow we're hosting a party and it's a matter of my reputation.
It's a toilet, not a white shirt. Even if you spend your entire day cleaning with bleach and detergent, it still won't be party ready.
Impossible.
Challenge. Harpic 10X.
Even if you use bleach and detergent 10 times, they won't give you the same sparkling clean toilet that Harpic 10X will give you. Wow!
Harpic 10X. Harpic, Kenya's #1 toilet cleaner.
Sensitivity is a short, sharp pain that people experience when they have something hot or cold getting to the nerve of the tooth, causing that discomfort. If the sensitivity is left alone, it may get worse. Dentists recommend Sensodyne to their patients. It's able to get inside the tooth and calm the nerve of the tooth down, and the proof's in the results. It works.
Kenya is on the rise. It is powered by you. You are innovative. You are passionate about the future. At
Stima Sacco, we are a reflection of you. We are a stable, financially sound institution providing tailor-made services to add value to your life, time and money. We are guided by your aspiration. We are Stima Sacco, a true reflection of you.
Let's get down to business, and we start with matters pertaining to the electricity distributor. Now, senior Kenya Power staff had a difficult time explaining to the Senate's Energy Committee how 13 employees made away with 35.3 million shillings by selling tokens at prices below the market rate. The irregular tokens were generated between January 2018 and February this year. Alex Mwangi with the details.
And the Kenya Power.
The sequence of events that led to the audacious theft of 35 million shillings by Kenya Power staff through the sale of fraudulent tokens came to light before the Senate's Energy Committee.
If you look at the telephone number that was being used to entice them and to pay for this amount of money, none of this went through the official KPLC number or our designated service providers. So KPLC did not receive a single cent from the customers.
We are giving the DCI to investigate because most likely even the customer is involved in the fraud.
You have yourself said, yes, there was fraud. 13 of our members of staff were found to be culpable. So Hanel is asking, having found that, what recourse do the victims of that fraud have?
There was a collusion between our staff who took advantage of, they abused their responsibilities and their rights in the system. Now, we talked to these customers, and all the customers confirmed that actually they were aware and they were part of this fraud.
We as KPLC did not get a single of your cent, but you've used energy worth 3,000 shillings. So what we did is, we just went ahead and debited that amount.
In seeking to shed light on the 35.3 million shillings worth of tokens that 3,000 customers bought through fraudulent means, senior Kenya Power officials and the Chief Administrative Secretary of Energy, Simon Kachapin, seemed to be inadvertently digging themselves into a deeper hole.
The MD there has successfully confused us.
35 million shillings worth of tokens was sold to Kenyans willingly at a discount price, and now you go back and penalize them. Even people who did not even know. We have to make sure that these people take the responsibility.
Alex Mwangi, NTV.
And staying with allegations of graft, a number of farmers in Eldoret have called for the arrest of Agriculture Cabinet Secretary Mwangi Kiunjuri and other government officials for the illegal withdrawal of 1.8 billion shillings from the Strategic Food Reserve Fund. Over the last few weeks, CS Kiunjuri has found himself in hot soup following allegations that 1.8 billion shillings was irregularly withdrawn from the SFR and used to pay maize importers against the advice of the SFR board. The farmers, through their lawyer Simon Lilan, have written to the Director of Public Prosecutions and the Directorate of Criminal Investigations to investigate Kiunjuri and take action.
Withdrawal was done contrary to Regulation number 5 of the Act, which requires that at all times except none, there shall be sufficient food in the reserve, either food itself in stock or an equivalent in cash, all the time. So that means you cannot withdraw that money and leave the account empty. I demand that they immediately freeze the account into which the funds were transferred. I demand that they arrest the Minister for Agriculture, his PS, and all those officials in the ministry who are involved in the withdrawal of the funds.
And on to matters banking, the Banking Amendment Bill of 2019 has been introduced in the National Assembly to address the ambiguities which led to the pronouncement of the law capping interest rates as unconstitutional. In March 2019, the High Court ruled that Section 33B of the Banking Amendment Act of 2016 is ambiguous, thereby rendering the capping of commercial bank lending rates unconstitutional. One of the amendments in the new bills replaces the words credit facility with the word loan, as well as clarifying that the interest rate referred to is computed on an an annual basis. The bill further clarifies that the capping is at 4 percentage points above the central bank's benchmark rate. This bill steps up the fight against repeal of the cap of interest rates 8 months before the timeline set by the High Court lapses. Meanwhile, the Central Bank of Kenya has retained the policy rate at 9%, even as the shilling slid to exchange at 103.8 units to the dollar, touching its lowest point since August 2017. And on to matters aviation, Kenya Airways share price closed Wednesday's trade at 4 shillings and 64 cents, dipping by 5.1% compared to yesterday's trade. Today's price decline comes on the back of the move by the National Assembly to give a green light to plans aimed at renationalizing the airline. Investors lost 1.4 billion shillings in view of the 5.1% drop in the share price, pushing the market value of Kenya Airways just 48% of where it stood at the start of the year. The chairman of the National Assembly's Transport Committee, David Kosing, says the renationalization will help steer KQ out of financial headwinds.
Now, KQ will be able to get government subsidies, going forward. KQ was not getting actually government subsidies. It was the only one in the region that was not getting government subsidies. What do I mean by subsidies? Fuel, in terms of fuel tax, and also engine tax.
And Nairobi seems to be losing its charm to property investors who have shied away from investing in the county in the second quarter of 2019, opting for satellite towns below the 15 million shillings per acre threshold. According to the latest report by Has Consult, uncertainty of title deeds in Donholm has seen the price of land drop in the last quarter, even as the demand for land in Upper Hill cools off. Juja has become the latest hotspot, with prices now 16 times higher than they were in 2007, the highest jump in any town that Has Consult has ever recorded.
The tough economic environment has resulted in less liquidity in the market, and at the same time there is a large stock of units, some of which are distressed properties under auction. These factors are making developers trim prices, and this is creating opportunities for buyers who have access to funds.
And away from matters housing, the number of students enrolling for exams under the Kenya Accountants and Secretaries National Examinations Board, which is KASNEB, has risen steadily over the years, pointing to an increasing in the number of persons pursuing professional certification. This is one of the achievements that KASNEB seeks to celebrate as it turns 50 years old.
50 years is not a short time, and 50 years of success becomes even longer. And like has been said, I think the Vice Chairman said it, the most important thing now is to look forward to the next 50 years. I attended a function last Sunday, and somebody informed us that in the next 50 years, or maybe 50 years to come, 60% of the world workforce will come from Africa. Now, that is important. Because as KASNEB, we have been making it clear that we do not examine for Kenya, we examine for the world. And that statement, that 60% of that workforce who come from Africa is critical, and we must make sure that we then keep pace.
And that's why we close the business desk tonight. Up next is the financial report.
Making my family some nutritious porridge is a painstaking process. First, I have to find all the ingredients needed, and there are many. For vitamins, proteins, and minerals, I need cassava, sorghum, millet.
You no longer need to go through all that to make nutritious porridge.
All you need is NutriPro.
You don't have to go through the trouble of finding, measuring, and weighing all these vital ingredients. New NutriPro porridge flour comes fortified with 13 vitamins, proteins, and minerals. This means that you have more time to focus on what's important, giving your family the healthy start they deserve. NutriPro, bringing families together. From Tropical brand.
Beat germs with Jik. Kills 99.9% of germs on your kitchen surfaces, sponges, chopping boards, sink and fridge, and your bathroom taps, shower head, basin, and surfaces. Just Jik it. Look out for our new improved packaging in store. Just Jik it.
Every day, history repeats itself. A scientist takes one small step. A genius finds a solution. A record is broken. A legend is born. Every day, history repeats itself here at Wood Creek School because we believe every child is a promise of something great. And it's our job to find the greatness within. So we welcome you to our open day on the 3rd and 4th of August from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. at our campus on Committee Road.
Birthday party.
Birthday party. Birthday party.
Birthday party.
Are we not invited?
We have gifts.
Malaria.
Mommy, best.
Run.
Oh, die.
Party.
Compared to an ordinary spray, Mortein Doom Power Guard kills disease-causing pests instantly. Mortein Doom Power Guard.
Welcome back. Luangni Beach Hotels in Kisumu is no more. Famed for its delicious fresh fish, I'm not just saying this, I've enjoyed it myself. The hotel that has been in existence for more than 3 decades was last night brought down to make way for the expansion of the Kisumu port.
Thousands of traders with temporary occupation licenses and short leases within Kenya Railways land along Akamba Line and Luangni Beach in Kisumu had been given a 1-month notice to vacate.
The notice expires on the 12th of next month, just 3 days before the official opening of the refurbished port.
The demolitions began last night. Distraught traders watched helplessly as the structures that have provided their livelihoods for more than 3 decades crumbled.
Sasa niliambiwa nitoe kila kitu nisigoje tingatinga, itaharibu kila kitu.
Notice ya 1 week cannot even, we are 1 month cannot even help us to remove all our properties zenye ziko hapa Luangni.
Serikali kisepea uonyo, watu wahame, lazima watu wache serikali place yao wafanye kazi yao. Tumekubali.
At least 24 business premises have been earmarked for demolition at Luangni area, a development that is likely to cost more than 1,500 residents their sources of income.
Sasa kesha tujui tutakula wapi. Wamejua tu kuhama lakini penye tunaenda hawajui.
Wengi hapa tuko na loans tunalipa, watoto wako shule.
The county government of Kisumu had given them until 10 p.m. last night, while the Kenya Railways notice speaks of August 12th as the deadline. It is a race against time for thousands of traders here in their bid to salvage whatever little property that they can rescue as the deadline fast approaches. The government is rehabilitating the Kisumu port at a cost of 2.5 billion shillings in a move aimed at tapping into its economic potential. Okokusa, NTV.
Well, I'm sure a new and improved Luangani hotel will come up soon, and would be looking forward to enjoying the fish from that place. You should visit, Smriti.
I think I have.
Luangani.
I have eaten fish by the lakeshore in Kisumu. I just cannot remember exactly where it was.
Luangani.
Probably.
Anyway, to some international news, and this is something you should be trying. Probably you can't because of the equipment. But anyway, a French inventor aims to soar across the English Channel tomorrow on a jet-powered flyboard.
Frankie Zapata has spent the last few days practicing for his daredevil stunt. This just days after he flew above the Champs-Élysées Boulevard in Paris.
The flyboard, as you can see, can reach speeds of up to 190 kilometers per hour and runs on kerosene. (190 kph). May he go well as he tries this particular stunt.
And if we get that footage, we'll be sure to bring it to you tomorrow. All right, time for a break here on NTV Tonight. Coming up is the sports news with Warode. Stay with us.
The world-famous Molfix and saw the difference. Let's see how absorbent Molfix is.
Molfix, thanks to its ultra-absorbent particles, can keep more liquid than the other diaper brand, so you can use it comfortably all day long.
All babies deserve a high-quality diaper. You should also try Molfix.
Wacha niende hivi nikuletea hata kali katika hii. Wewe unataka nini?
Can I buy a chocolate, please? It's for my mom. Happy birthday, Mom.
Thank you, Bella. There's a class and a half in everyone.
The Federation of Kenya Employers and Business Africa invites you to the Africa Employers Conference and FKE 60th Anniversary Celebrations. The conference will be held at the Sarova White Sands Beach Resort and Spa, Mombasa, Kenya on Friday 26th to Saturday 27th July 2019. Theme is Shaping the Future of Work and Enterprises in Africa. To confirm attendance, email jkudwali@fkekenya.org. The Federation of Kenya Employers, the voice of employers.
Break up with Eno. Aunt, it's true.
This is a difficult situation you're in.
How about us? We're okay, right?
Of course.
Even if you almost punched me because of Eva?
I've won Eva. She's my girlfriend now.
Excuse me, I'll just go to the wash. Oops!
Sorry, ma'am. Sorry.
I'm so sorry.
Sorry about it.
Soil Merchants Property Developers have incredible offers for prime residential and commercial plots in Kiserian Town. Welcome to our open day on 27th July 2019. SMS LAND to 21595.
It's
It's time to play. Welcome to NTV Sport. I am Vidyarthi Kiru. The national basketball team, the Kenya Morans, will be seeking to further write their names in the history books when they play Tunisia at 11:30 p.m. tonight in the quarterfinals of the Africa Basketball Championships that is ongoing in Bamako, Mali. Morans came from 10 points down to edge Ivory Coast.
Where are we headed as a country?
Every time we make a step forward, we do too.
Kenya Volleyball Federation President Vidyarthi Kioni as a Kenya's team chief demission. Kioni will have his work cut out to atone for the administrative debacle that were witnessed during the Rio 2016 Games. In Rio, those mandated to take care of the athletes' toolkit misappropriated funds, and the matter led to 6 people, among them former sports CS Hassan Wario, being arraigned in court. Despite the Rio debacle, Team Kenya clinched 6 gold, 6 silver and 1 bronze medal, which was the best Olympic performance in Kenya's history. NOC has settled for Japan's Kurume City to host Team Kenya's pre-Olympic Games camp. Incidentally, it was in Tokyo 1964 that Kenya won her first Olympic medal through Wilson Kiprugut in the men's 800 meters race. Now, in the last hour, Vidyarthi Kioni had this to say about his appointment. Let's listen in.
Indeed, I'm very humbled. It is a big honor. It is a challenging appointment, but I believe I can be able to discharge the responsibilities that go with it. And I said in my speech, we shall be guided by the values of good governance. We want to redeem the image of NOC.
Redeem the image of NOC. That is what all of us will be looking at. And the medals for the Tokyo 2020 Olympics have been unveiled with exactly 1 year to go until next year's Games. The unveiling of the medals, designed by Junichi Kawinashi, was the main attraction of an extravagant ceremony in the Japanese capital to commemorate the landmark. The event was attended by International Olympic Committee President Thomas Bach and Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe. The medals, which are 85 millimeters in diameter, feature the Greek goddess of victory Nike in their design, along with the Olympic symbol, and are made from recycled metals collected from electronic devices donated across Japan. Away from matters at Tokyo 2020, and the national under-15 team rallied from 3 goals down to beat Akakoro under-17 4-3 in a friendly match played at the Camp Toyoyo grounds. Hamis Nyale and Jafet Muzungu scored a goal apiece for the national team, with Andrew Waliaula scoring twice. This is Matthew Mwendwa scored twice for the Korogosho-based side, with Hassan Suleiman also on target. The young Kenyan footballers are coached by Saga Lahani, with Faisal Mohamed, the gaffer for Akakoro. The national under-15 team is housed and schooled by the Football Kenya Federation, which seeks to grow Kenyan football from the ground up.
And when we went 3-0 down, my thought process was, this is really good because it's going to test the character, the resilience, the resolve of the boys. And even if we didn't pull it off, even if we didn't, make it 4-3 and win, but if we had played the same way we played towards the end of the game without scoring, it was still a great indication of character. And if we can keep developing good character in the boys, resilience, persistence, perseverance, the will to keep going, then I think when you match that with good skill and good intelligence, then we can have a pretty good team.
After well over a decade, the women's features, now named the ITF World Tennis Tour, has made its way back into Tennis Kenya's calendar in partnership with the ITF through the Grand Slam Development Fund. Tennis Kenya has organized a $15,000 prize money event from the 5th to 18th of August at the hard courts of Peponi School in Ruiru. The players will be accommodated at Windsor Golf and Country Club. The prize money will be spread out from a round of 32, round of 16, quarterfinals, semi-finals and the finals. 56 players from 22 nationalities will take part, with 24 players accepted in the main draw, while another 32 will be playing the qualifying draw. Kenya will be represented by 4 players: Angela Oktoi, the 2018 Kenya Open winner, Judy Nkata, Faith Nyabera and Shania Kur.
Just fight and not have too much pressure on myself, but just give it all and also make my team and Kenya proud.
We are going to pour out our best right there and give it our all, because it's also warm up for the All-African Games team, All-African Games.
Onto the track, and 16-year-old Hannah Wanjiru emerged the winner of the 5,000 meters women's race during the first day of the Safaricom National Deaf Track and Field Championship trials held at the Kasarani Stadium. Wanjiru won in 90 minutes 37.7 seconds, with Justa Kwamesa and Lorraine Ngonga completing the podium places. Martin Gashie was the winner in the men's race after he clocked 14 minutes 49 seconds, and he was followed by Omari Kokobi and Peter Toroitich. The two-day trials will conclude tomorrow, with a Deaf Athletics Association of Kenya selecting the team that will represent the country at the first Africa Deaf Athletics Championships that will be hosted in Kenya in September. Leroy Sané scored twice as Manchester City eased to a 6-1 pre-season victory over Kitche at the Hong Kong Stadium in a friendly that was marked by protests concerning the ongoing political unrest in the region. Sané struck before and after the break to further remind his coach Pep Guardiola of his worth with Bayern Munich.
Any fool with huge amounts of money can be president of his country. It is no longer about service.
Why can't we move these people out and find somebody who can make the right decision for the country?
You're the experts, you can tell me.
We have to change the way we arrive at our leaders. We have to.
Organized crime, terrorism, and corruption, they're really siblings.
We don't need 10 cases. We just need 2 cases done properly, and it will serve a lesson.
Justice can only be found if I prosecute what I have claimed, bring the evidence, and say this man is guilty.
AM Live, every weekday morning on NTV.
Na imekuwa ni ada, desturi na mazoea kwa Wakenya wengi kula, kulala, kuvaa na kupiga gumzo la siasa.
Masuala ya biashara, uvumbuzi, teknolojia na ubunifu. Muhimu ni
hela.
And that's it for NTV tonight. Thank you for watching. My name is Mark Masai. Good night.
I'm Smriti Vidyarthi. Thanks to our sign language interpreter, David Agondoa. We'll see you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.